Nyt me otetaan meidän seuraava puhuja, eli Jeff Cristee on meidän seuraava puhuja, ja Jeff puhuu aiheesta Capturing Digital Acceleration by Transforming Your Infrastructure and Workforce. Eli samoissa teemoissa ollaan, ja welcome Jeff, and go ahead please.
Thank you, Enrique. I appreciate it very much, and I'm happy to be here, and good morning to all of you at the conference. Before I get started, I'd love to first thank Elisa for having us here. It's such a great event, a great day. They're one of our best partners, not just in Finland, but globally as well, and we appreciate their support and focus on our customers. I also would like to tip our cap to the 100-plus Cisco employees in Finland who work hard every day to support our customers, support Elisa in that endeavor as well. And I'm pleased to be representing all of Cisco and all of Cisco Finland. So my background is I've been at Cisco 25 years, and during that time, I'm Vice President of Global Sales Operations, and I get to see a lot of customers. And one of the real advantages to me is, in addition to serving as an executive liaison for all the customers in Finland, I also serve as executive sponsor for some large multinational companies, including a quick service restaurant that serves over 69 million people a day inside their restaurants as of 6 months ago, including one of the largest North American insurance companies that has millions of policyholders that needed to access their contact centers for support. And then when I combine that with our existing experience at Cisco of 150,000 employees and contractors that needed to access our applications all overnight, remote in March, everybody had to go home and work remotely and still be productive. We're starting to see all of these experiences having a very similar aspect, which is, how does your infrastructure flex to allow you to work digitally and take advantage of digital transformation? I mentioned the quick service restaurant that serves 69 million customers a day. They used to do that in their restaurants. Today, 2/3 of their global restaurants are no longer accepting people in their restaurant. It's only drive-through. And so overnight, we went from trying to figure out how their customers worked within their environment to actually having to do it through drive-through. And they asked us to turn our equipment towards making sure their employees were maintaining safety responsibilities. The insurance company had to send all of their contact agents home to work from home, and they had to be able to still handle the calls. All of that was made possible by an infrastructure that was resilient, agile, et cetera. The common parameter in this new normal, which is going to accelerate our digital acceleration, I believe, is that the internet is our new network, cloud is our new data center, because we have to be able to access our applications from anywhere, any device, any location, and identity is our new perimeter. If I have the identity to get into my network and to access my applications, I should be able to operate no matter where I am or what I'm doing as if I'm in the office. That identity is my gold card throughout my entire infrastructure. And what we see at Cisco, what I'm going to talk about today, is how the infrastructure is supporting this, how we're thinking about these new challenges in the workforce of the future, and what our strategy is to address them, and then give you a couple examples about some of the services that are on top of that. What we see is that our customers are consistently asking us for 4 things. Number one, they're asking us to reimagine their applications. The reason that needs to happen is because instead of just thinking about the application and what it does, we now have to think about what is the experience of that application so that it's consistent for our employees, regardless of how they access it. We need to understand what the experience of that application is for our customers, whether they use a mobile device or some other way of accessing our information. And what we're seeing is that we're going to see more of these applications move to a more modern cloud stack. And that's going to be true whether you're running those applications in the cloud or you're running them on premise. And that experience has to be seamless so that we can guarantee the quality of that across the board. Of course, if the internet is our new network, security is even more important than it's ever been. And all along the stages, whether you've got a cloud access security broker or a firewall, or you've got advanced malware protection, email security, et cetera, no matter how your data is being accessed, it needs to be seamlessly and automatically protected across the board. Cisco has a strategy for that. Those two factors alone mean you need to transform your infrastructure. You need to transform it in a way that you're moving workloads to where they need to be done, and that you're automating with policy and services. And many times you're going to need to program your infrastructure in order for it to operate and optimally for you. And then last, we're being asked to empower the teams. And I'm not going to spend too much time on that today, but when we send people home and have people immediately working from home, we still need to empower them to be able to function as productively as they did while they were in the office. And that means collaboration tools. Collaboration tools like WebEx, which is the global leader in enterprise collaboration video conferencing. We handle more interactions than any other platform in the world at an enterprise class with embedded security and high quality. And those interactions are important if we're going to remain productive in this new digital world, and in fact, be more productive in this new digital world. So what does this look like for our customers? This is just a simple visual representation of what you'll see on a pretty regular basis here. Our users need one thing, and that is a connected experience across a multi-domain architecture, able to access their apps and have the experience be rendered well for them on whatever device that they're using. They need it to be fast, simple, and always available. And they need that whether they're working in the office, on the campus, which we used to look at these things as separate domains and how we stitch those together, whether they access remote, branch, mobile, now that all needs to be one. And we don't care where the application is served from. It could be from the data center or from a cloud or some sort of hybrid model where sometimes it's the data center and the cloud. And the user doesn't need to know where they're accessing it. They just need to make sure that experience is good. And in order to ensure that, Cisco believes we need four things. We need connectivity. That's easy. That's simple. We're talking about connectivity across the board and across the multi-domain, switches, routers, infrastructure to connect to this new world. But we need automation. You don't send 50,000 people home from a contact center one day and actually have to rewrite policy for those 50,000 and have them taking calls within a couple hours without an automated policy control. And we'll talk about that. Of course, security has to be across the board. But the major advantage that we believe is going to really take our customers into a digital age is the insights that you can pull in the service layer from the network. The network sees traffic and can pull data in ways that no other insights can gain in terms of how people are using your apps, how customers are accessing your environment, whether it's physical or virtual. And in order for insights to run, obviously software is very important, and we have software stacks that allow for that. But I want to make the point here. In a software-defined world that allows for automation, oftentimes people discount the role that hardware plays. And Cisco invests very heavily in our own ASICs instead of merchant silicon to make sure that our equipment is able to pull more data off of that network and turn it into information that you can use so that it can be programmed and optimized for your particular environment. And our hardware is going to be important in addition to the software services that we provide. Let's talk about where we are in our journey to be able to deliver this multi-domain experience across this environment. We can do this today, but we do it domain by domain. And let me give you an example of what I mean by that. If a user wants to access an application, we have in the campus and branch, in our switching and routing environment, our wireless environment, We have dynamic and digital network assurance, and we have platforms that automate that configuration, that access, that identity, that security in our DNAC suite of management products. One place to go to manage and onboard new devices, new people, very automated, very seamless, and we can embed security directly into the networking equipment. Same for the WAN with our SD-WAN capabilities and our Meraki capabilities, whether we use vManage or the Meraki dashboard. You can manage thousands of devices across a wide area network as necessary. And the same thing with our application center network infrastructure in the data center with our Cisco workload optimizer and our tetration and our ACI managers. All of this we can combine together to seamlessly make sure that you get out and work, get your applications anywhere you want, but we have to manage it domain by domain. And this is where Elisa really works to help us stitch this together. What we want to do is make it easier for them. And when we see that we have a breadth of portfolio across domain so that Cisco can really touch all the way through from the cloud to the end user at home across its hardware and software, our next step is to provide this automation capability, this insights capability, and this security capability in one platform, commonly multi-domain. And when that happens, the insights that we'll be able to pull will be powerful and be able to be programmed by our customers, by our partners, to be able to deliver the simplest value for our customers to recognize the capabilities in the digital world. When we look at this, I would say that we're in a spot where we talk about the bottom layer there. Anywhere people are, they need to be able to access any application, any cloud, any service. That is going to require connectivity. It's going to require automation. Where Cisco believes our unique strategy and our differentiation is in the service layer that we're able to deliver in the middle. So if we connect things together, if we don't do it with visibility on how that app is performing all the way from the cloud down to the end user device and be able to pinpoint where in the world we're starting to have problems rendering applications on Android devices. If we can't do that, we can't proactively fix that and make the experience better. Automation, we talked about that, but we also have to embed identity, policy, and programmability, segmentation so that we protect the network with automated and security, and location-based analytics. Cisco believes that our involvement in that center layer is going to be the key difference in the connected experience from how you get from wherever you are to the applications that you want to use. And we have suites of products that we layer on top of this today that give you that insight. Let me give you two examples. Cisco DNA Spaces is a software program residing on top of our infrastructure that takes advantage of the sensors that is across our entire network and can do many, many things for organizations. One thing that it can do is it can tell you how many people are on any particular part of a floor in your office, or how many people are in your restaurant, or how many people are in your hospital. And it can start to automatically notify, as we talk about a secure workforce and a secure workplace, anyone who's in that space that there are too many people in there for social distancing, and can automatically tell people they're not in a safe environment and ask them to be removed. In addition, it can do much more than that. It can track assets. It can do wayfinding. So when you walk into a hospital and you want to find your patient room or your doctor's office, it can give you actual wayfinding along the way. It can track wheelchairs. It can basically take any device or any machine and understand where it is and how it's using your facility. At the quick service restaurant, it's able to tell us how long users stay in the restaurant. And we know that if they're there for under 3 minutes, they just got a to-go order and left. If we know they're there more than 7 minutes, that they've stayed and ate in the middle and dined. But we also know if they've been there 3 to 7 minutes, they've been there too long for a carryout order, not long enough to dine in. And we automate policy then to reach out to that customer right there, give them a coupon to come back again, and make sure their experience is there. When we do that, the user, the customer, comes back right away within 1 day and uses that coupon, as opposed to 7 days when they have a bad experience. DNA Spaces, great device. And then lastly, I want to talk about our insight, and this is our differentiator. We can see with App Dynamics how every application is operating everywhere in the world for every user, regardless of how they're accessing it. And when we start to see trends and patterns in degradation of performance, we can notify Elisa and we can notify our customers when that occurs. And we just recently acquired Thousand Eyes, which was the last mile visibility we didn't have. We had one of my customers that had a problem with their applications when they sent everybody home because they weren't accessing them and they were complaining about the way their applications were going. They couldn't tell if they had an application problem, a network problem, or a last mile problem in terms of the connectivity to the homes. What Thousand Eyes does is it allows us to see right down into the home, all the way across the network, out through the cloud, back through the corporate network to determine where the connectivity is. So in summary, what we see at Cisco is we see the infrastructure playing a major role in your ability to accelerate, automate connectivity in this digitized experience. It's going to play a major role in the way that you're moving your business forward. And our objective in the next 3 years, we've stated, is we want to make the digital experience better than the live experience. We're not going backwards. We're not going back to an environment where we're fully in the office or being able to do things or travel globally on a regular basis. We need, and we've stated our goal, to make the virtual experience even better than the live experience was in the past. And that's our objective and our goal. It's got benefits for the business, the user, and IT. Enrique, that's a little bit of how we're thinking about things at Cisco. Appreciate your time today. I know we have a poll question, but I'll take any questions that you may have or the audience may have.
Thank you so much, Jeff. That was super interesting, and I want to touch on that last point, like making the digital experience or remote experience better than the live. And probably before pandemic, we would divide things that we would do with other people to live situations and through web-based situations. What are some of the new problems that have emerged during this time that you're concentrating currently now?
So thank you for that question. We're in the infancy of how we build culture and real meaningful engagement across a digital world and a video platform. We're in the infancy, so we're going to learn a lot more. But one of the things that it's doing is it's not making us feel as connected. And so what if we took the virtual experience, and what if right now as you were looking at me, you had my entire social media profile up. You had my LinkedIn profile, and you were able to find out information about me. You could query that data and see where I've spoken before, where I've done different things. You'd have a dossier on me that might give you some insight as to how to best interact. In addition, with our WebEx product, we have a virtual assistant inside there, so it takes notes. It keeps the transcript. And I could say in the middle of this meeting right now, Enrique, let's or WebEx, follow up with Enrique and please send him the white paper that we have on a digital experience. And immediately, based on the invite, you would have that digital paper sent to you. These are some of the enhancements that we're trying to make in that. Scheduling would be very easy. How often at the end of the meeting do you all have to get out your calendars? Does Tuesday work? Does Wednesday work? We could say, WebEx, would you please find the nearest available time of 30 minutes for Enrique and I. And the next thing you know, you would have that invite in your box. So if we can do this right, we will make the digital experience more productive than even the live.
This is so interesting, and we could spend so much more time in that space, but unfortunately our time is now up. Thank you so much, Jeff, for joining us in the middle of your night. Thank you very much.
Enrique, thank you. We're happy to be here and appreciate you having me.
Thank you.